the chief diversity officer of Harvard University, stop the presses, pull over your car. Turns out that woman was just caught plagiarizing her academic work. I know, it's shocking, because Harvard, would never be caught up in a plagiarism scandal. And more to it, chief diversity officers are held to the absolute highest academic standards, right? When I think of people who get their jobs through merit and merit alone, I think of chief diversity officers, a position that did not exist 5 years ago and should not exist because it's a shakedown racket. Yeah, they got her. The woman's name is Sherri Ann Charleston. She's Harvard's first chief diversity and inclusion officer, of course, because the position wasn't real. It's still not real, but it didn't even exist on payroll until just a handful of years ago. Not only did she plagiarize, remember Claudine Gay, the recent former president of Harvard, she plagiarized something like half of her academic work. This woman has plagiarized part of every single publication that she has ever written. 40 in total, 40 instances of plagiarism in total. Looks like the chief diversity officer had a more prolific publication record than the former president of Harvard. But I guess it's because she was just cutting and pasting a little bit more. This all thanks to reporting from the Washington Free Beacon, Aaron Sibarium. It's a great journalistic work being done out there. Cherry on top, this woman served on the committee, the search committee that picked Claudine Gay. The place is so rotten. We got to just keep picking at this. This is like shooting fish in a barrel. Chris Rufo, Aaron Sibarium, some other conservative journalists started this up. And now we just pick them all off. Just get them all fired. It's the perfect tactic, because plagiarism is perfectly adapted to these types of people. These types of people, the pro-DEI, the chief diversity officer, the race-hustling ideologues of the left who get installed in these positions, they are, by definition, poorly educated and dishonest. They're poorly educated. If they were capable of doing real academic work, they would be in a real academic field. They would have a real academic job. But they can't. They're not capable of that. So they end up doing these fake pseudo-academic fields because it's easier to get good grades. And here's where the dishonesty part comes in. Here's where the deception part comes in. It's just a big hustle. It's a big racket where you can just aggrandize your own fake victimhood. And the more you do that, the more lucrative it is for you. So these people self-select as being the least educated, most dishonest people in academia. And we know that. It's on their business card, okay? Let's just pluck them all up. Just look down the publication list of all these people, throw it into ChatGPT, throw it into some AI program, and say, find me the plagiarism. It's gonna come up for like all of them, okay? And that's a great way to do it. The liberals will say this is a cynical approach. They'll say, you've got an end in mind, and you're just backfilling it. You're justifying the end in mind, which is to fire all these people, with the justification that they engaged in plagiarism. To which I say, you're darn tootin', you bet I am. I'm not saying that the ends justify the means. I'm not saying that good ends justify immoral means. There's nothing immoral about exposing plagiarism, about exposing a serious, the highest academic offense you can possibly commit. And it's a good academic end. These people should not be in these positions. Claudine Gay, this woman Sherri Ann Charleston, probably most of these academic administrators, 90% of whom didn't even exist. Their jobs weren't at the universities 10, 20 years ago. Just get rid of all of them. That's the left's power center. We've got a major weakness here. They still feel some degree of shame over that weakness. At least publicly they express it. Get them all. Love it. Many more where that came from. Right now, go to gdefy.com. Use code MK30. Good footwear is about more than fashion. What you wear on your feet matters to your health, your comfort, your well-being. Choosing footwear that provides support for your daily routine is important. Now, easier than ever, thanks to Defy shoes. I love these shoes. When they came in, I said, I hope these aren't running shoes. You know me, I'm not going to wear running shoes. You think I'm not the most athletic guy. And then I take out the first pair. They're not running shoes. They were beautiful Oxford shoes with nice, really comfy soles and broguing even, which I really like in my shoes. And then I opened the next one and they were running shoes, but they're the nicest looking, most comfortable running shoes I have ever seen. You have got to get Defy. I love them. Because shoes are not just about fashion, but they're a little bit about fashion. And these just hit the mark on both. I love this company. Your feet deserve more than just another pair of shoes. Right now, use code MK30 for $30 off orders of $150 or more. G, the letter G, Defy, DEFY.com. GDEFY.com, promo code MK30 for $30 off your purchase of $150 or more. Experience the miracle that is Defy, where comfort meets innovation. Karine Jean-Pierre over at the White House was just asked about a very inconvenient conflict in the way that Joe Biden has talked about the border. You see, because when talking about how Donald Trump dealt with the border, Karine Jean-Pierre and the White House and Joe Biden said that it was very, very racist. If you ever want to shut down the border at all, very, very racist. But then, when Joe Biden starts to talk about potentially shutting down the border, that is different. Somehow.
Back in the winter of 2018 and the spring of 2019, President Trump vowed to shut down the border with Mexico using almost the identical language that the president used on Friday. Many, if not most, if not practically all Democrats called that xenophobic and even racist. Why shouldn't people make the same conclusion about this president's threat to shut down the entire border with Mexico?
So we believe the new enforcement tools that currently don't exist, that will be, we believe that will be part of this bipartisan agreement, will be fair. We believe it'll be tough, but it will be fair. There are different definitions, right, of what that looks like, of what actually shutting down the border looks like, right? So we're going to let them work through it. We don't know what that looks like exactly, right? What we are asking for, what the president wants to see, is that we deal with the challenges at the border.
There are not different definitions of shutting down the border. Shutting has a clear meaning. Down the border. Those are all pretty clear concepts. But she knows there's no, here, I'll give you the answer. How is it that when Trump does something, it's racist, but when Biden does the exact same thing, it's not racist? Because Trump is Trump and Biden is Biden. That's how. That's their answer. I'm not being glib. That's it. That's their real answer. You know how black people can't be racist? That's what they say. They can, obviously, but they say black people can't be racist because racism is when white people do bad thing. Or do a thing that we just disapprove of in any way, or really do anything at all. That's racism. In the definition, they say racism is when white person does such and such to black person. Well, the same thing is true here for Democrats and Republicans. In the definition, Democrats can't be racist, and Republicans are racist. So what's the solution to this? Some Republicans want to try to flip it on the Democrats and say, no, you're the real racists. You know, you actually, when you really think about it, you're the real racists. I don't think that really works. I don't think the term means much of anything at all. I'm not sure that it ever did mean much of anything at all. What it is, if now racism means you think that white people are entitled to any rights or respect in society, which is, I think, what the Democrats mean by it, then just forget about it. Or if it means that you recognize that there are different races. I think that's what they also mean, at least when white people do it. So whatever it is, we should forget about that. Okay, we oppose injustice, we oppose cruelty, we think that things ought to be fair. So we support all those, but you'll never win with racist. You'll never win using the Democrats' words. You'll never win using their framing. You got to give people a new framing to see the world in a new and more accurate way. That's how you win people over. You make that normal. That was a great clip, huh? Now, hold up, ring that bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. See you next time.